Perfect. Let's go.
How are you doing?
So, good, you?
Not too bad.
All right, so let's go ahead and go over the upcoming Thursday slate for MLB. We're going to take a look at the Washington and New York and then Dodgers and San Fran. So we'll go over the basically just what's been going on. Because I know people are going to be rusty, obviously, coming into MLB DFS. Because it's been a while. I know you haven't played in a while either, neither have I. But I took a stab at KBO, and that's a whole nother beast. So it's nothing like MLB whatsoever. So yeah, KBO's awful. At least trying
Really?
to stay up, trying to stay up till 4:30 a.m. in the morning to see lineups that change anytime. Yeah,
That's too early. Way too
yeah,
early.
yeah. It's a beast to try to figure out, to say the least.
Well, American
Um,
sports are back, so cheers to that.
yeah, and I know since you're from Minnesota, there's been a few trades that have happened in your city. So
I am excited about the Twins, let me
yeah,
tell you.
yeah, yeah. I know there's a few trades on your end. So to say the least, with Kenta Maeda going to the Twins, that's a big trade.
I'm excited about the Twin staff. Kent is obviously huge up to that. I know they also got Homer Bailey and Rich Hill from the Dodgers as well.
And they got
Um,
Starling Marte also, right?
no,
No, he went
no,
to
no.
Diamondbacks.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
got who else did they get?
Donaldson,
Donaldson. That's who.
huge third base upgrade.
Oh yeah,
They have an absolute killer lineup. Um, I'm excited for it. But speaking of the Dodgers, I know they've been piecing away some of their team, getting Mookie Betts and David Price, but then they got rid of Alex Verdugo. He got sent
yeah.
over to the Red Sox.
And then Gavin Lux was supposed to start tonight, and they sent him down to the minors,
Oh, did they really?
which was which was surprising at second base. Yeah,
Okay, I didn't see
which he's
that one.
which he's priced at 4,000 on DraftKings. That shows you how much of an impact that's already going to be, because people are going to try to play him thinking he's starting, but he's not starting at all. Yeah, they sent him down to the minors Tuesday. So
Wow.
yeah, that's kind of surprising on my end. I wasn't really expecting that either, because he was actually part of my first look lineup to have him starting. So yeah, I wasn't really expecting that at all for him to be sent down. So that's gonna kind of figure out my second base strategy a little bit. That's gonna alter it. So, you want to go down position by position?
Yeah, let's get it going.
All
How
right, let's
about
go
for pitcher? Who are you looking at for pitcher?
for pitcher. So at pitcher, I know that a lot of people are going to flock to Garrett Cole starting out because of his high price. So there's going to be more like players who aren't used to playing DFS because this is the first game of the LBB season. So you know how everybody's going to try to just throw in a lineup just to win some money. But you have players who actually been playing DFS for a while and know that Garrett Cole starting at top, he gets crushed by Washington. So I'm honestly not too high on Garrett Cole. If you want to take a stab on him, go ahead. But the two guys I'm looking at is Mad Max and Clayton Kershaw, easily.
Okay, yeah, I love Kershaw, especially for the price. The Giants, especially in this 4 game slate, going against the Giants is definitely the easier of the lineups. He's priced reasonably. I know 770 at DraftKings. So I'd take him and then Garrett Cole. Cole, he's an absolute monster. He is the highest pitcher on the slate by far, but I know that Washington got rid of a few players during the offseason. I know Rendon being one of the biggest pieces of that, but I'm really playing them. I think he's going to be able to fly through that as well as get the win.
But here's the deal: is on Washington. If you look at his split stats, he's had 6 earned runs in 2 games versus Washington.
Really,
So yeah, and he's priced as 10K. So
I've
that's why I'm going down to Mad Max at 8,600 because that's a price tag way differently, and that gives us over 4,000 to play with in our positions.
absolutely. That's a huge, yeah, that's a bit of money because
Yeah,
you're on FanDuel, right?
I'm on DraftKings.
DraftKings. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, I would, I guess the way that it's probably not a great way to approach a 2 game slate. Right now, I have Cole and Kershaw as my two DraftKings pictures. I
I
think
feel you.
I think Scherzer is a fantastic turn for especially for a tournament play. Because I mean, in my opinion, that Yankees and Nationals game could go either way.
Oh yeah, it's
Um,
gonna be yeah, it's gonna be a hell of a game.
uh, right now, the way that I'm approaching the slate currently is going Cole and Kershaw, and then stacking a lot of Yankees and Dodgers behind them in hopes for that win. But I could absolutely see a Scherzer switch in there. It.
I mean, we both agree we're not going to Cueto easily.
Oh,
That's
we're not.
that's obviously
Oh,
yeah,
shoot.
obviously yeah. Especially coming off of Tommy John surgery, yeah. There's no way
It's
I'm picking him.
against the
There's no
Dodgers.
way.
That's he's gonna get massacred. It's not gonna be
Yeah,
pretty.
there's no way. So I mean, the way I'm approaching this is given it's two great teams with New York and Washington, I'm just waiting for the bullpen to come out because the Nationals bullpen's awful. And I don't see Cole or Serger pitching over 6 innings, to be honest with you, because like I said, this is the first game. So I'm imagining they're not going to play, they're not going to pitch that much. So that's why I know the Nationals bullpen is awful, like I said before. So that's where I'm approaching this is just trying to figure out my stacks going forward into the game.
Absolutely. And I that was actually part of my thinking with taking Cole in front over Scherzer, just because I mean
Yeah.
it for sure it's going to be a chore and a half to get through the ridiculous Yankees lineup, having to go through LeMahieu and Judge and Stanton, and top to bottom, it's a solid line. I mean, a top three lineup in the league. And then after they get Scherzer out there, they'll have to deal with the, like you said, just horrific Nationals bullpen.
Yeah.
I guess that's my reason for stacking the Yankees.
No, I feel you. Yeah. So, like I said, also, the good thing is New York doesn't have Chapman either. Chapman has COVID.
Oh,
So,
really?
yeah. So, their closer situation is a little bit different. So, that's why I'm saying the bullpen's just going to be, that's going to be where the key to this game is going to be, is in the bullpen aspect of the game.
Okay.
Yeah. So, starting off with catcher, um, I'm personally probably going to go to either Sanchez or Will Smith. I know their price kind of similar. Smith has done well against righties. He crushes righties. So he's kind of part of my Dodgers stack. So, but I wouldn't blame you to go Sanchez with the power. So either way, I'm cool with that. I'm not getting too much Suzuki. I don't think Martin's going to start. But if Martin does start, then I would pivot to him. But I think Will Smith is going to start more than likely. So that's where I'm kind of looking at, or catcher wise so far, is Sanchez or Will Smith, or pivot to Martin if Smith doesn't start.
I definitely like that. There's absolutely a case for both of them. Personally, for a catcher, I'm highly considering going Heineman for the sake of being $3,400.
I
He
got you.
is, I believe, he is sixth or seventh projected in their order right now. Um, I have kind of queued in right now. I have him and
Yeah,
uh, the shortstop, Dubman, for the Orioles. Not because I love the matchup, but mostly because their price tags are fairly cheap for what they're doing. Um, and in terms of price per points, that 4,200 for Will Smith isn't terrible per se, but I know he's kind of at the bottom of the order. Um, he's going to have quite the field to get through on top of that. And for around that price tag, I would just rather spend it on someone like Aaron Judge or kind of a big name, big hitter higher up in the order.
I
So I
got
guess
you.
that's why I'm spending down at catcher.
I got you, which makes sense. Yeah, that's why I'm just kind of waiting to see the Dodgers lineup with Will Smith or Russell Martin because there's about a $400 or $500 salary difference between them two. But I mean, I'm hoping Will Smith starts because of his power. But then again, we'll see how the lineups look out tomorrow. More than likely, I'm assuming it's when the lineups will come out. But
Yeah,
yeah, so catcher wise, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't blame you to go down to Hyman. I kind of like that. He's $1,000 difference between Sanchez and him. So anyone else, I don't see getting to. I don't see Barnes starting. I don't like maybe Gomes if Suzuki doesn't start. So just kind of waiting to see who starts. Pretty much is where I'm going with it.
Definitely. And not that Kershaw has any terrible splits by the means, but I mean, he's at least has a little bit of a splits bonus on top of that. A righty against Kershaw, the lefty. So I don't know.
Oh, I
Hopefully he
feel
gets
you.
a walk or two, but you know, I'm not looking for him to go yard 3 times.
Right. So going to first. Uh, so far, I know that people are going to flock to Matt Muncy because of the Dodgers stack. I don't know who's starting between Kendrick and Eric Thames. I don't know, honestly. Luke Voigt, Freeze. So the way I'm going with this is I'm either going Muncy or I'm going all the way down to Austin Slater. So I know I have Kershaw in my lineup, but Austin Slater goes yard against righties.
Is Slater
So
starting?
I'm hoping.
If he does, that's really attractive. 3,100.
Oh, my bad,
So
not righties. He crushes lefties. Slater
that
does really well against lefties. Yeah, against
okay.
Kershaw. So Slater, I know people don't know who he is, but like I said, he crushes lefties. If you look at his splits, he has done kind of well against um, the Dodgers. I know his batting average looks awful, but he does well, meaning like he gets walks, he's consistent on base. So if Slater does start, I'm going to flock to him on first because you can get the Muncy and plug him in at second if you wanted to, because now that Gavin Lux isn't starting, or now he's being optioned to the minors, I might do that strategy with going value at first, kind of like you are with catcher, and then plugging in Matt Muncy at second, um, to have that little to start my Dodger stack. So, and that still leaves you, if you have Kershaw, Mad Max, Slater, and Muncy, you still have over 4,300 left over to go with position by position. I know we like to spin up at outfield. So, I mean, that's kind of where I'm looking at so far. And then, like I said, if you plug in your guy with Hyman at 3,400 at catcher, that gives you 4,500 left over, and you have a 1-2 punch with Slater and Hyman. Then you can just go off for the Dodger stack with Muncy starting off. So overall, the strategy is pretty well. Um, another guy I'm looking at first, if you want to go with the Yankee stack like you are, Luke Voigt is up there. He's a power guy. He's a monster. Um, I'm not getting into David Freese. I don't think he's going to start. I don't know who's, like I said, the Nationals lineup. I don't know who's going to start between Thames and Kendrick, which I mean, they're $100 difference, but I'm not getting to one of them pretty much because I like my other option with Slater going for a value guy because we need value. So overall, that's where I'm kind of looking at. What are your thoughts on first?
For first, if Slater starts, I'm on board with that. Especially like you said, pricing is really tough. This slate,
Yeah.
you have some of the top pitchers and some of the top lineups, and they're all priced accordingly after this 5-6 month wait. So I am definitely on board with Slater. That's a cheap way, like you said, get some exposure to the Orioles. My bad, not the Orioles, the Giants.
Yeah, I would say wait. I
that's
was like,
that's a
wait a
whole nother
second.
deal.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I do have Voigt currently penciled in as my first base option, but that can very well change to Slater.
I feel you. So yeah, that's where I kind of looking at for first is Voigt, Slater, or um, just kind of go with Muncy, but we'll go from there. Second, so again, second base we have Muncy, which if you want to plug him in at second, I don't mind that at all. Okay, so DJ LeMahieu is coming back from COVID. That's why he's listed as out. But from what I'm looking at, he's trying his best to start on opening day. And so just kind of keep a lookout for DJ LeMahieu because I think he had it about 4 or 5 days ago, and he's still trying to get back from it. So
Yeah, I
that's
know
kind of
he's kind of on
interesting.
that edge. So
Yeah,
I'm not sure if they're going to limit him that first day opening, but I imagine if he's back, he's going to play a full game. So
yeah. So I would just be careful with him. Just kind of waiting. I'm playing the waiting approach with him
Absolutely.
because yeah, I don't know how I feel about him coming back from COVID. I mean, cardio wise and everything. Um, so that's interesting. Torres, they have him as a second base option, which kind of interested me also because he's normally a short. So, um, Gavin Lux got optioned. So, like I said, that kind of put a turmoil in my lineup, which I wasn't ready for.
A
But
minor league option, right?
yeah, he went to the
Okay.
minors, and they're not even playing the minor league. So he's kind of just going straight back home, to say the
I
least.
guess, yeah.
So yeah, so that's again, I wasn't expecting that. Um, but a guy I wanted to talk about was Wilmer Flores. So Flores, if you look at his stats, he has a look. I mean, he's a 280 average versus the Dodgers, and he does well against lefties. So he's another guy who's cheap, which I know I hate going against my pitcher, but we're gonna have to based on how this slate is going because it's a two-game slate, unfortunately. So you're gonna get guys who are gonna face your pitcher, which just like I said before in the very beginning of this video, wait for the bullpen. So he's 3,800, which I don't mind that at all. So if you want to do that route, you definitely could. But now that Max Muncy is second base option, I might go with Max. So either way, I don't mind Wilmer Flores. I don't mind Max. Wait and see the approach with DJ LeMahieu. If he doesn't start, I imagine Torres will get the start at second, which that'll be interesting to see who starts at shortstop for the Yankees because I'm at the shortstop tab now, and I'm not seating very much. Estrada, Tyler Wade at short. I mean, they don't have very many options. So if LeMahieu doesn't start, I would keep a lookout on who that value guy will be for New York because I would plug him in easily. So what are you going at with?
How do you feel about Dubon starting for the Giants? He has second base and shortstop eligibility, 3,100, which is, in my opinion, fantastic value for such a short slate like this.
Not bad. Yeah, I feel you. So
It is hard to pass up on guys like Muncy, LeMahieu, Torres. That's quite the crew right there. But 3,100, I think he's going to
yeah,
bat sixth, seventh ish.
that's not bad. Yeah, I feel you. So that's why I'm kind of waiting to see these lineups to see where I'm going because of the LeMahieu COVID to see where that's at. I'm going to see what the Dodgers are going to do with Lux not being optioned to the minors. So I'm just kind of waiting to see where I'm going with this.
I do think that if we're going to find any value in the slate, it's going to be on the Giants. Otherwise, yeah, the Nationals, Yankees, and Dodgers, a lot of their guys are priced up significantly, almost all of them above 4K. So I think we're probably going to have to get our value from Giants players.
I got you. Yeah. So going on to third, this is kind of where it's kind of a minefield. There's not very many options. So you have LeMahieu up top. If he is going to play, you can go to him. You can go to Gio. Um, so basically, you have three top New York guys for the third base. I mean, literally with LeMahieu and Andujar and Gio. So that's a lot of money. You have Justin Turner though that I'm liking as part of my Dodgers stack. So I know you like the Giants value. So for a third, um, Longoria is out, so he's on the injury disabled list, so he's not playing. Um, you have Pablo Sandoval, which I don't know. I mean, looking at the past pictures of him, he's not in shape at all. So
Yeah,
that's
offseason has treated him well.
yeah, that's not looking too well. And his reading from this, it's his elbow, which I've heard about that a little while ago. So I don't know who's starting for third for the Giants. So if you have any more news on that, definitely tell me because I don't know anything. Yeah, I don't know who's starting for the Giants on third.
Neither do I. Yeah, like you said, Longoria is out. I believe Belt is on the IL as well. Uh, Sandoval, you can't really be confident in him. He's been doing well this offseason in terms of his meal plan.
Yeah,
Um, Otherwise, I mean, he's an old vet, kind of making his way around. So even 3,500 isn't a fantastic price for him. Right now, I'm actually going up to Justin Turner, right in the heart of
So
that dangerous Dodgers order.
yeah,
4,100, I'll take my chance on that.
yeah, that's where I'm going with it. Is plugging and playing Justin Turner because you can't go wrong with him. So going down to short, um, what's interesting is Carter Kaboom. So Kaboom, I believe, if I was not wrong, he should be starting, which I think they're starting him at third for the Nationals, but he's a shortstop on DraftKings. So that's kind of interesting to me because Turner's a shortstop and he's obviously starting. So, but they're moving Kaboom, who has power, to third. So, and surprisingly, he's priced up to 3,700. Um, so you can go with Corey Seager, which I don't mind if you want to go with the heart of the Dodgers stack. Trey Turner's a good play against Cole because anytime he's on base, he's stealing. That's automatically points for you. So I'm personally either going to go with Turner, Seager, or Kaboom as one of my guys at short, and I'm not sure where I'm going with yet. But like I said, I'm waiting for the lineups to see where the batting positions are.
Absolutely. Trey Turner actually being tied for the most expensive hitter on the slate right up there with Cody Bellinger, actually. But yeah, like you said, when he gets on base, which is fairly frequent, he's running all over trying to steal. I'm sure he'll get his option to get a few runs and a few RBIs. But 5,100 is a big price tag for that.
Oh, easily, yeah.
Uh,
So
right now, I penciled in. I have uh, actually shortstop. This is where my man Dubon came in. I have him in for the shortstop.
I feel you. Yeah, which just gives you a lot of salary relief. So going to outfield, this is the biggest position easily. You have Bellinger, obviously, 5,100. So you have Betts, you have Juan Soto, Stanton, Peterson. You have all these guys. So kind of just going for my core on the alpha because I know it's a large position. You can't go wrong with Bellinger. He's obviously going to crush Cueto. I see him hitting a home run easily tonight, to be honest with you. So if you want to bet wise, have him hitting a home run, I guarantee you that's a pretty good play. Depending on the odds. You have Mookie Betts, who we've seen him in the Boston days. He's amazing. He's your go-to guy. So Juan Soto, this is the problem. Juan Soto is he does awful against right-handed batters, given that he's batting left. If you look at his splits, and I don't trust him against Cole, especially with Cole being in his Houston days. Um, he cannot hit against Cole. I don't know why he can't, but he can't do it. So I'm not on Juan Soto at all. Stanton, he's just a guy I can never trust. Because always when I play him, he doesn't seem to do well at all. He seems to get 4 strikeouts a night when I play him for some reason. So I don't know if it's just a personal, like, I don't know. I don't like him. I don't like playing him. I know he's good, but like I said, for some reason, every time I play him, he strikes out 4 times a night and gets me 0 points. So, yeah. Jock Peterson. So you got to be careful with Jock Peterson because if you play him and he doesn't do well that night, he's more than likely going to get subbed out and put in for somebody else.
I think
So
Jock Peterson especially is hugely dependent on who's
yeah,
pitching right then.
yeah,
He bats left-handed. He has insane splits, regular splits. So he demolishes right-handed pitching. As soon as a lefty gets in there, he can't hit to save his life.
yeah,
So I imagine if it comes fourth, fifth inning, a lefty gets put in there, Jock is out immediately. So for
yeah,
4,500, you're really hoping he goes yard. Otherwise,
yeah.
that's all he really does.
Which that's why I'm feeling. Yeah. Also, is if he doesn't do good, then he's automatically out and being subbed out, and there's 0 points for you the rest of the night.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's where I'm kind of looking at on Jock Peterson. You of course have Judge. You know how Judge goes. He crushes people. He's basically a monster. Um, but against Mad Max, I'm kind of worried a little bit. So, but a guy that if you want to go with the value is Adam Eaton. So Eaton, he's just a cheap guy that I'm basically just looking at because of and facing Cole in his Houston days. Obviously, again, he's done well against Cole a couple times. So if you need value, I don't mind Eaton, but I'm just kind of looking at the guys up top with Mookie Betts and Bellinger, and then so far my lineup, if this is my first look, is Kershaw, Mad Max, your guy at the catcher, Austin Slater, Muncy, Turner, Kaboom, Betts, Bellinger, and then you can go with a guy like Aaron Judge, and you still have 400 left over. So there's a lot of ways to go about this slate that I'm looking at, but the main stacks I'm looking at is that Dodger stack. And then if you want to go with a low owned stack with the Giants, I don't mind that. Looking past the Dodgers bullpen, or I might try to play around with the value guys in New York, depending on if Didi LeMahieu does play or not. So there's a lot of ways to go with this 2-game slate, but like I said, I'm going with the Dodgers stack easily. I think that they'll destroy Cueto in a heartbeat, and he'll be out of there in a no doubt. I give him 4 or 5 innings tops for Cueto. But again, we could be wrong. This is 2020. We've seen how wrong 2020 has gone.
Right.
So knowing our luck, Cueto's just going to come out and pitch a no-hitter. So, yeah. So knowing our luck, well, there's no telling how this first game is going to go. I recommend playing light. I'm not playing a ton for this first night.
Absolutely.
But I may change my mind at the end of the tomorrow and play all my money. But again, this is 2020, so who knows? So that's where I'm kind of looking at.
Yeah, in terms of outfield, I'm really liking kind of like that mid to high price guys. Jock, like you said, kind of give or take. You're just hoping he goes yard, really. Stanton for 4,600. For a player of that caliber, I'm all right taking a risk. Judge 4,400. I really like that. Aaron Hicks is right below him at 42. I'll take my options. Otherwise, if you're really digging for some value, possibly a Mike Tauchman. He's 2,900. He would end up batting 8th or 9th, but again, until lineups get confirmed, I mean, you never really know what's going on.
Right. So yeah, I'm waiting to see lineups and see how they go. So that's where I'm kind of looking at, is just depending on who starts and who doesn't. Because if LeMahieu starts, he's probably going to start at first, or not start at first. He's like first in the lineup. Because that's where I'm going through right now, is just kind of looking at the lineups to see if they're projected lineups.
That being said, I don't believe Tauchman is projected in.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at too. Let me scroll down to the Nationals. So, yeah, nobody really knows if Suzuki or Young Gums is starting. Carter Kaboom is starting at third base. But a rule we need to go over is, so there is a universal DH. So that's going to play an effect of a lot of teams. So Howie Kendrick's probably going to be your DH starting off. So I forgot about that. So I'm just kind of waiting to see where everybody's going to go with his lineups and go from there.
Sounds good. I'm all for it.
Yes, sir.
Sweet. So, yeah, any closing thoughts?
Not really. Do you have any?
That's about it. My game plan is Cole and Kershaw, and then stack behind them accordingly.
Yes, sir. Which I will have an article up on my website, by the way. And
what's that website?
Of the MLB. So it is DFS Prodigy at WordPress.com. So if you want to write it down as dfsprodigy.wordpress.com, that is my website. I have articles for basically all sports, and my MLB article will probably be out tonight. So, and you'll see it on Twitter, which I'll post the link on Twitter, and we'll go from there.
Perfect.
Yes, sir.
All right. See you on the other side.
See you, man.
See you.
Have a good one.
You too.